Alright, what up guys? So I want to do like should I say detailed breakdown or what? Let me say breakdown of not a breakdown, something that will help with your SMC or SLP. Okay, although I don't trade the strategy, I do know a thing or two and was nothing was excuse me guys. What's the thing about knowledge if you can't share? Okay? So basically here we have on daily we have a stop hunt rate. Or let me cut price back. So I think somewhere around. Okay, let me cut price back to I think somewhere here. It should be perfect. Alright, we had a stop hunt rate and then a break of structure. So I told you whenever we have a stop hunt rate and a break of structure, this point becomes protected, and we can see that point was coming from I think this other block around here, but other side. So now where is our POI? Where is price currently reacting from? It's reacting from this imbalance here, and you can see we have another stop hunt rate. And then if you check your line chart, you have your break of structure. So I'll mark this SNR zone because SNR, you guys call it SNR zone, while you guys will call it a breaker block. Now the concept about breaker block, that's what I want to actually take on today, because a lot of you guys have issues deciding which breaker blocks to use. So a breaker block is basically a field order block. Now a breaker block is basically a field order block. Now, what is another block? Another block is like the last bearish candle, the last bullish candle, but it's the candle that actually gives the momentum or the surge of price. Okay, so now a lot of you know how breaker looks like, but you guys don't know the logic behind a breaker. So take it like this. Imagine this is an order block. All right, this is an order block. You guys know smart money. They don't buy using stop losses. Okay, they just enter their positions how they want to enter them. Imagine I'm buying a position here, then price moves up, and then all of a sudden breaks the place I wanted to buy from. Okay, now oversells. That's price is now overselling, right? So if I want to exit this position, which I know I'll not have profit again, what will I do? I'll wait for it to come back to my break even, right? And then open a sell position. Okay, so that's basically how breakers are being used. Breakers are like break evens for smart money. So now, looking at this breaker block, this on the daily time frame, how do you use your strategy to enter? Now, mind you, this high created this low. If that high created this low, I told you guys that any high that is being created by any low that is being created by a strong high is gonna get taken out. So now you know your direction. What you'll be looking for, you'll be looking for sells. Now this is where you have to be patient. You don't start taking buy in sell trends, all these kind of things. That's what leads to unnecessary losses. Okay, so now I've marked out my level where I expect price to drop from, and then using the strategy that I trade now, that is what will give me my entries, not just that I mark out my levels and then start entering from there. So let's check out the first trade. So what will happen when price gets to that level? Okay, I don't know why my replay too slow though. Alright, now what's happened? Now price got to that level, but notice we have any major break. There was no major break. Instead, we had a liquidity sweep. So obviously, after that liquidity sweep, this high is going to get taken out. Okay, this was not a break of structure. Don't come and tell me this. You come and say, okay, this is a break of structure. No, that's not a break of structure. That's just a liquidity sweep to push price higher. So let's continue playing price. All right. Now clearly, this is what I wanted to see. A very swift break. That's the break of this last low here. Okay, the break of this last low. Now, we've signified a liquidity sweep, that's sweep of this high, and then a break of structure, leaving this high protected. Alright, so my battery is 1%, so let me plug up. Now, leaving the high protected, okay? So now what next? They will tell you, okay, this is the last, this is a breaker block, because it looks like another block that was meant to hold, right? That's what you're meant to do, but no. A breaker block, how I basically understand breaker blocks is, I look for the positions that I know that if I was to buy, people would have been buying from, okay? Now you can see the order flow here. People would have been buying from there. That was a buy move. Then here also, this other block was for buy moves. And then all of a sudden, price broke the other block, making it a breaker block. So everybody that we're trying to buy from here now have been trapped, okay? Everybody that we're trying to buy from there now have been trapped. But how do I know whether to use this breaker block or this other block around here? That's where inducement liquidity comes in. So now how do I know my inducement liquidity? After the break of structure, the first pullback, now not just any random pullback, you come, okay, this is my inducement. No, that pullback needs to pull back to this level here, at least 50%. What do I mean? If this is the high that is being created, I want to see that pullback do something like this before coming to tap on the breaker, or even past this low. You get, before making it a valid inducement. Then I pick the closest POI. So let's just play price until it gets back. Okay. Now what can you see here? Let me push it again. Now can you see that this is the high that was created and it has pulled back to mitigate the 50% of this level. To mitigate the 50% of that level. Now I know that this is excuse me guys, I have a little bit of cold. This is a valid inducement liquidity now. Now, which POI is closest to this liquidity? Obviously, is this breaker block here, not the other block again. This breaker block here that was meant to push price on higher, but then price broke through it. And then I would open my sell position from here. Either I target this low, or since I know that high, that on daily, I told you guys that this was going to be the target. I could swing it to this low, but honestly I will not do this because that's very unrealistic for me. Instead I'll just target this low here. That's a very nice 1:7. So let's play price. Alright, tapped on that level and then melt. Alright, taps on that level and then melt. Okay, now let me go to another zone. Let me go to, this is just basically like a replay of price.